part of the massive success story of the Premier League has been that by and large it's governed by the clubs. Yes, there's a chief executive, which was Richard Scudamore for quite some time. Yes, it has some offices, it has some staff, but by and large it's run by the clubs. The decision-making process is very, very simple. There's 20 clubs who are the members at any one given time, at any given season. If 14 of the 20 clubs vote for something, then that motion is passed. It is then given to the chief executive to basically go out and activate whatever has been decided upon. So what will happen is, for instance, with the TV deals, Scudamore would have gone out, he would have had negotiation with Sky, with BT, with Amazon, whoever it is, and then he would have come back to the Premier League. They then have a meeting, they decide all together which package is best, and that's for absolutely everything. If you remember, recently there was a talk about the safe standing. It's something that would have to be decided by the Premier League. Then they would obviously then go to the government and ask if it could, that motion could then be passed. It's been a powerful tool. It's been something that has served the Premier League very, very well, particularly as a money-making enterprise. It's been really good, but at the moment it's not serving them well, and because there's a lot of differing, there's a lot of indecision. Well, this is exactly the time where the Premier League need clear, decisive action. This is pretty much a time where the lack of one omnipotent, all-powerful leader, if you like, is probably to the detriment of the Premier League at the moment. Because all the clubs are dilly-dallying, they don't really know what to do. They can't even get together in a room at the moment for all the obvious reasons with social distancing to get together and make a decision on the Premier League season. Now, of course, by and large, there's going to be a lot of Premier League clubs that would like it to finish as it is, but clubs like West Ham. We already know that Baroness Brady has said she wants it scrapped now. Well, of course she does. I mean, let's be honest, West Ham then don't get relegated. That's a good thing. And regardless of how cocksure the club might be that we'll get out of relegation, there's nothing to say that we will. Clubs around us had started to pick up points. You know the story as far as that's concerned. But there will be other clubs that won't want the season to finish now. So there'll be clubs that are maybe feel that they have a chance of getting into the top four. Maybe I should have looked at the league table before doing this. I've not looked at the league table in quite a while. But maybe Manchester United are not in the top four. They've had an upturn in form. They bought a good player in Fernandes. Maybe Manchester United will feel that they can get in there. They don't want the season to end yet. Liverpool clearly don't want the season to end yet. And there will be other clubs. Sheffield United probably don't. And so on and so forth, and so the story goes on. The point of the matter is you are not going to get a decisive vote for everybody in the Premier League to say, postpone it, stop it now, play behind closed doors, or any of those factors. Now, I've often thought that football sort of operates, not outside of the law, but outside of society. It operates in a bubble. Because the fact of the matter is the decision needs to be made now to scrap the Premier League, the last season, the season that is still yet to be finished, because there's just no way to play it out. As I understand, at the time of recording this, there's 8 West Ham players in isolation. We don't know who they are. That's fine. It's their own business. The government are advising everybody to stay at home. I don't even know if it's particularly legal for people to be out training or anything like that. I've said before, I don't think you should legally get 50 people into a stadium, the 2 squads, the staff, the officials. How are you meant to play a contact sport when you're meant to stay 2 metres away from each other? So how can they play out the rest of the season? They can't. And there seems to be this feeling whenever I look at how the Premier League have reacted to all of this, that things are going to be better soon. We'll make another decision in a couple of weeks. You hear that. You hear that constantly. They get to have another conference call. Well, of course, they can't make another decision in a couple of weeks because not only, I was going to say things haven't changed. They have changed. They've got worse. And I'm going to show you a really, really bad graph because I tried to download one and I just couldn't. But you know this curve thing, right, that they keep going on about, right? This curve. So we've got January, February, March, blah, 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 blah. And the curve goes something like that. They think they can do different things, flatten the curve. On some, it might peak up a bit more. My point is, and here's the thing, if we're in, March now, and it's there, and we have deemed that there and there is not safe for people to be around each other, then surely it stands to reason that it's not going to be allowed to be going on there or there either. It's not just you wait until it gets to there and then everybody can start playing football again. Surely not. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't think there's any point where they can play out the remainder of the season. Legally, morally, it's a shame. I think it is a shame. If you are a West Brom fan, it is a shame. There's no doubt about it at all. If you're a Liverpool fan, it's a shame. If you are, as I say, if you're a Manchester United fan trying to get into the top four, Wolves, Sheffield United, whatever, you feel that you might have a chance of Europe, it's a shame. But it ain't as much of a shame as what's going on in society, of course. You know, it's not like a doctor or a nurse going to work every day, absolutely cacking it and worried that they might actually go to work, catch a coronavirus, come back and bring it to their families. That's a shame. That's something that does need to take priority over any of this football stuff. So I just think we scrap it now. I think it's the only way. Do I miss football? Yes. Do I think football's got a part to play? Massively. I think if there was a football schedule and a fixture list going on at the moment, it would give us something to get our teeth into, something to look forward to. We'd have to build up. We could all talk about the game. We'd have a little bit of a distraction. But it ain't as important as keeping everybody fit, keeping everybody well. And no matter how pampered we think these football players might be, you can't ask someone to put their own health and their own family's health on the line for a game of football. And it is just a game of football. And I do hope at the end of this, football comes out and there's not so much money around in the game. I hope that football doesn't operate in a bubble. I hope that the players don't continue their separation from the general public, which has been happening for years and years and years anyway. I'd hope that a lot of things change after this, quite frankly, but I just can't see any way that we can start to play the season, we can finish the season, and I'm struggling to see a way that we can start the next one. Or I do see a way that we can certainly not start in August or September, but I possibly think the best case scenario is, bearing in mind the shutdown, bearing in mind everything else that's going on, is that the government may allow some interaction between people at the end of the summer. Now, where that's going to leave football, if the football can't make a decision until that announcement is made. So football can't plan now for the start of the season in August. Football cannot plan for the start of the season until the government make an announcement. And clearly the government have got bigger fish to fry. They've got bigger things to sort out. They're trying to build all these emergency hospitals up in the Excel Centre and stuff like that. They're not going to be worried about football at the moment. So I just think it needs to be scrapped. And I'm not saying that as a West Ham fan. Quite frankly, I have missed football so much. If somebody were to say to me, we found a vaccine, we found some therapy that can stop the fatality rate, it will be wheeled out in a month's time, and everybody be able to go back to football, go back to work, go back to their daily routines again. But West Ham will be in the Championship. I'll take that. I don't even care. Premier League stuff I don't even care about at the moment. I would just like to go out for a meal. I'd like to go on holiday. I'd like to take my family out. I'd like to go to the football and see me mates who I've really missed. The daily routine of going to football is something that was sort of entrenched in our lives. And it is important and we do need it back. But it's got to be done safely and it's got to be done correctly. The safe standing thing. I don't know if you saw that. It was... It's something they're talking about in Japan, which is keeping people 2 meters away from each other. I can't see how that would work because you still have to go in on some form of transport. And that's what they're going to say. They're going to organise parking for everybody so that everybody can just drive up. How are they going to keep people 2 meters apart from each other in the walk up to the stadium? How about the security search? Surely you're not going to be able to be searched because to be frisked, someone has got to get very, very close to you. I can't see how that would work. The turnstiles, yes, they could be done with a ticket. Who gets to decide who goes and who doesn't go? What happens if a ball goes into the crowd? Little things like that. We're constantly being told to wash our hands. What about touching handrails and things? I just think logistically, it's a nice suggestion, a nice idea, but a terrible suggestion because I just think practically, it just doesn't get to work at all. So I think we're stuck with what we got. We're stuck indoors, I'm sorry to say. We're stuck watching reruns of old football. I believe ITV are running Euro 96, which would be entertaining enough. Look, come the end of it, we're going to be bored of old football matches. Quite frankly, I am already. And I'm very, very much looking forward to competitive football and the rest of it. But I still think, for everyone's benefit, the last season's got to be scrapped.